Muscle growth appears straightforward at first glance. You lift weights, and over time, your muscles get bigger. But what's actually happening beneath the surface when you train? The reality is that hypertrophy isn't just about moving weights mindlessly. It's a precise biological process that depends entirely on how you stimulate thousands of individual muscle fibers. Today, we're breaking down the actual science behind muscle growth, cutting through the myths and misconceptions. To understand growth, we need to start with the fundamentals. Hypertrophy refers to the enlargement of entire muscles. However, muscles aren't uniform masses. They're composed of thousands of individual fibers working together. These fibers don't activate independently. Instead, they're organized into functional groups called motor units, all controlled by your central nervous system. Here's what's crucial to understand. Low threshold motor units typically control just 10 to 20 fibers. High threshold motor units can control up to 2,000 fibers. This organization means growth potential varies dramatically between fiber groups. Increasing the size of 2,000 fibers through training has a substantially greater impact than growing just 10 to 20 fibers. Now, how do we engage these high threshold motor units? Research has identified three primary methods. First, by increasing force through lifting heavier weights. Second, by increasing speed with explosive movements. Third, by training to complete failure during fatiguing contractions. What connects these approaches? The common factor is effort. Whether you're lifting maximum weight, moving explosively, or pushing through those final challenging reps, your brain responds by amplifying neural signals to recruit more motor units. This explains why both heavy and light training can promote muscle growth, as long as each approach is performed with maximum effort. Here's an important distinction to make. Simply activating muscle fibers isn't sufficient for growth. Consider that both powerlifters and sprinters utilize high threshold motor units, yet their muscular development differs significantly. The key factor is the force velocity relationship. Fast contractions generate relatively low force, as seen in sprinting. Slow contractions generate significantly higher force, like in heavy lifting. This principle explains why light weights can still promote growth when taken to failure. As fatigue builds during a high rep set, several things occur. Your movement speed naturally decreases. Each muscle fiber must generate greater force to continue moving the weight. This creates the necessary mechanical tension to stimulate growth. Let's clarify this ongoing discussion about training approaches. With heavy training, all fibers activate while moving slowly, resulting in high force production. With light training taken to failure, fatigue reduces speed, allowing fibers to similarly produce high force. Here's why this matters. The critical detail is that fatigue affects individual fibers rather than the entire muscle simultaneously. As you fatigue during a set, fresh motor units continue to be recruited, and these newly activated fibers contract at slower speeds, creating the high force stimulus needed for growth. Put simply, whether you're using heavy weights where every rep counts, or lighter weights where those last slow reps matter most, muscle growth comes down to training close to failure. What's your preferred way to train? Heavy weights, light weights, or a mix of both? Share your experiences in the comments. For more training content, don't forget to like and subscribe.